Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Um, this one is a little simple. I don't want to go too much into it, but I say that every time, so who knows? Last time I was talking for 16 minutes, and I didn't realize it. Hopefully I'll talk less than that. All right. So, today I want to talk about unlearning stuff. Unlearning means getting rid of bad habits. Bad habits are shit that makes us unappealing, like playing video games all day or, critiquing shit. I specifically wanted to talk about critiquing stuff because it's like a frequent thing on YouTube. You have people always like criticizing you for so many little things, and it's like, when were you ever like this? For me, I first kind of fell into that critiquing, internet culture when I started like getting into the angry video game nerd. You've heard the story from countless other YouTubers. They get into the angry video game nerd, they get into fucking, reviewing video games, reactions or something. And it's like it can be entertaining, but it's not always entertaining. Often it's never entertaining. Except when, James Rolfe does it. James Rolfe plays the angry video game nerd. He plays a character, and he's been playing the character for a very long time. I don't think he intended it to be as, culturally impacting as it has been, but at the same time, it's like it is. You see James Rolfe nudging elbows with like real celebrities, and it's admirable. But because people are so, they're not. I want to say. I wouldn't really say it's being creative. They're just not as well, talented or skilled as James Rolfe. James Rolfe is like a master of all trades. He can film, he can direct, he can act. I believe he even went to acting, some kind of acting. Maybe he took some acting classes, or he went to like school or something. And it's like, he's good at what he does. You may not like his content, but he puts in the work, and he deserves what he has, and he continues to, even with a family. He has a kid, he has a wife, and he's still putting out content. He's still being James. And I don't want to use the still, but James did this from a character he created. He didn't, this angry video game nerd isn't a real person. It's just a character. Like any character you see on a TV show, cartoon show, sketch, comedy, it doesn't matter. It's not real. James is real, but not the angry video game nerd. And a lot of people were inspired by this character. A lot of people were inspired to make their own like little YouTube channels where they review games in the same manner that he does, or they might try to do something different. And like, I'm the overly positive gamer. It's a character. It's not, you're just putting on a show. And like, people get stuck in that, like, they get stuck in this like critiquing loop. They feel the need to critique anything. It doesn't matter. Even though James wasn't playing these video games seriously as the angry video game nerd, people take it to heart that these are actual like critiques for video games, like fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or any video game that James has played and complained about. That's all for show. It's not like real critiques or reviews. James isn't playing these games for a massive amount of times to like beat them. He's playing them badly to make it a fucking show, to make people laugh. But people are so dumb that they take that way of reviewing seriously, and then they start like putting out their reviews and just acting completely different. They're acting like characters, but they're not. This isn't their calling. This is like James calling, and they're just they're mimicking him. That's just how people are. They love to like copy you, mimic you. If they see something they like, they're going to try to copy you. They won't try to like actually make original stuff. I think this is like a previous video I was talking about, make your own shit, make original shit. If you copy off people, you're going to make bad shit. It's going to come off lazy, and it doesn't ever look at the nostalgia critic. I hate to hate on Doug Walker again, like I always do, but Doug, was inspired by James ultimately. If there was no James Rolfe in Angry Video Game Nerd, there would be no Doug Walker and the nostalgia critic. And not being an actual film critic or any kind of critic, I think Doug has only been to like film school or some kind of liberal arts college, but that's it. He isn't. I guess he is a filmmaker, but he hasn't put out anything that like he's not getting jobs making movies. He's getting deals making his own content. But it's all just kind of heavily inspired by like the way he's even said it, that he was inspired by the Angry Video Game Nerd, and that was just a character. And I don't know if he looked likely, but Doug gets lots of criticisms or his own criticisms. You don't see people making videos about James fucking complaining about like SNES port of like Far Cry or some shit because people think James is funny and they know he's playing a character. People don't know what Doug is doing. Doug is like being, whatever he wants to be. Doug Walker is just doing whatever he wants to do. And it's from just like being inspired from the critic to do his own like critiquing. But it's like if you watch any of Doug's movie or any of Doug's critiques, they're just, you can't take them with a grain of salt. They're not, they're usually like belittling the actor for what the way they look, the way they act. And these aren't, you don't do that during a movie. Do you ever watch a movie and you just start complaining from the very first opening scene? That's not how you watch a movie. You sit down and you shut the fuck up and put your phone up, and that's how you watch a movie. You don't say anything. You laugh if there's a funny part. You might cry if there's a sad part. You'll scream if there's a scary part. But you're not going to be sitting in a movie fucking gabbing your ass off at every little second of the movie. That's fucking annoying. No one does that. That's not how you watch a movie. And you may be in that crowd that's like, I could do whatever I want. I could talk about anything. Like, I don't give a fuck. I would never watch a movie with you. No one would. No one wants to watch a movie with people that just complain the whole time. And I'm not trying to like, say movies are awesome or some shit. I hate movies. But the fact of the matter is that no one knows how to watch a movie. Everyone just like copies off. They have an idea of what a movie should be like, but they've never made a movie. They've never actually seen like real film throughout the years. They've probably seen the last 10, 20 years of movies, which to me are not, we live in an age of like big budget CG movies and costs to make big explosions and shit that it's all for show. We're not having like any movies with real depth. It's all just like, what's the latest fucking popcorn flick to go take my kids to and have them sit through and fucking fart and shit all over the seats for the next 2 hours. It's just that. Movies to me just have no meaning, no purpose, whatever. Their purpose is to just get people to fucking be terrible to each other in big fucking, I guess, theaters, whatever. Since I'm running out of things to talk about, actually I'm not. That was my whole critiquing shit was basically my whole like thing right there. Just things about the unlearning certain internet culture aspects. My other thing is like I wanted to bring into like the PC master race into this. If you're familiar with like internet culture in the past 10 years, well, I don't know. There's the PC master race. It's this idealism of like PC is like the best thing to do anything on, video games, whatever. Except it's not. A lot of games throughout history, they've been both on PC and console. You don't see Mario 64 starting on PC. You don't see Street Fighter 2 starting on PC. These are legacies of games that have been built for the past, forever. And they didn't get their start on PC. They were probably made on a PC, but they were put specifically on a console because consoles are like valid to me. Consoles are just as valid as PCs. And to me, consoles just get better. I know that like spending money on PS5s and bullshit like that is kind of, it seems dumb when you can just buy a PC with better parts, but a PC with better parts can't play like fucking Final Fantasy 16. A PC with better parts isn't going to play Smash Brothers for the fucking Switch. You can't play any PC like a fucking Switch. So there's so much you can't do with a PC already. So saying things like PC Master Race still, it's just stupid. It's really idiotic to just say that. To me, it's just a way to like, it's a way to show off your wealth that you can't afford a high-end PC. But what high-end PC games are you playing that isn't like fucking, I don't know, Dota or some like the games that I play on PC are like Final Fantasy 11 and like Magic the Gathering Arena. These aren't really games that call for a lot of power to like work. So it's like if you're still held up on that like PC Master Race bullshit, it's just like, so it was never cool. It's just old. There's nothing good to just be a PC only person now, in my eyes. If you think it's cool, whatever. But like, it's annoying to just, think things are better. I guess what I can get at is like unlearn competitive nature. Unlearn, why can't you just like both? Like that meme. Why can't you just like both? I don't know what meme that little girl was like, why not both? Why don't you just like console and PC? Why do you have to hate one and then why do you hate one or the other? You have to unlearn being competitive. No one's out to fucking get you. No one's out to like fucking win against you. There's no secret fucking agenda to like dunk on you the moment like you lose at something. And if you think that having a PC makes you so much better than like a console, that's like just so shallow. That's a shallow thing to believe. Just enjoy video games, stupid video games, because they're fun. Don't enjoy them because one person isn't able to play them and you are. That's like classist shit. Because you're able to afford something like that and no one else is, that's just like, it doesn't make you look good, basically. It makes you look like an idiot. It makes you look selfish. So unlearn, competitive nature. And it doesn't have to be like video games. It can be anything. If you get like jealous or any kind of like anger from like other people's, what they like or their like benefit, that's stupid. It's just like think of Democrats versus Republicans. Why does that exist? Why can't you all be friends? Again, it's just like unlearning all this bullshit. When you used to think like, oh, that guy said that, so I got to be angry because somebody told me to. You got to unlearn all of that. You have to think for yourself. You have to think as an individual. And I'm not saying be a centrist, that you have to like not pick any side, or that you even have to pick a side at all. You just kind of have to look at it from a different angle. Look at an angle where you're not trying to make it combative against each other, or you're trying to like start a fight. Look for like solutions. Don't, provoke people. Don't instigate people to like get the worst out of them, because everyone's always trying to get the worst out of you. Last thing, cringe culture. That's what I want to unlearn. Cringe culture. I see a lot of people just saying like, that's cringe, bro. Cringe, cringe, cringe. And it's like, why is that a thing? That's just like, it's a bad way to like kind of like, if you think everything's cringe, then what is not cringe? What to you is like uncringe? What is uncringe? Is it like sexy? I don't know. Anyway, telling something cringe is rude, no matter how way you put it. Especially if it's like, if you say someone's singing is cringe, or if like someone's dancing is cringe, or anything that makes you uncomfortable and you have to like tell somebody, that's fucking rude. No one cares that you don't like somebody because of the way they're acting. Like if they're trying to like just be themselves and you call it cringe, that's really hurtful and just, it's shitty. I still use the word cringe sometimes, but I use it to kind of describe myself when I'm like watching my old content. Like if I look at one of my old acting videos of me acting in like college, I'll say this is kind of cringy for me to watch because I can't stand looking at myself in my 20s trying to act. I'm not horrible. It's just like, it's hard. And I'm not trying to like hate on myself, but I could say a different word, I guess. I'll just get embarrassed. To me, cringe and embarrassed are the same word, except cringe sounds like it's trying to be more of a hurtful put down or slur and not actually a beneficial, like you're just trying to hurt someone's feelings if you're calling them cringe. It's not, I guess To sum up this whole video, just unlearn being an asshole. Unlearn having to be like savage or having to just put someone down. I find it more of a challenge to find the good in somebody, or like, and not everyone likes doing that. Not everyone likes giving people the benefit of the doubt. They just want to go for the worst route, try to fucking make them feel like shit, and I think we just have to get past that, get past being shitty to each other. I hate going to any YouTube fucking comment section and seeing people just say the worst shit. And, you hear all the time, YouTube comments are just cancer. And it's like, I wish it wasn't like that. I wish there weren't people on the other side of the world or computer or whatever just dead set on just trying to say something really shitty, and they can't just say something positive. And it's like, and you can't ever like moderate that shit good, because someone will say something and you'll like flag it, but they'll whatever YouTube powers that be will either ignore it or like try to edit it, or I don't know. All I know is that it's never I never have a good history of like moderating YouTube comments that were really hurtful or mean. Not for my videos, but just for like anybody's videos. Anyone that's trying to like show off their son's dancing, or it's just a terrible way of expression to just have to judge people. Like, that's what parents do. That's what shitty kids in school do. They judge you because they don't know you. So it's like they could just say whatever they want. Anyway, I think I've said enough, and I don't really feel like acting silly because I am tired and smelly and hot and sweaty. So I will leave these wise words for you. Good night and take care.